Okay, this video is going to show you how to recondition and toast a used wine barrel. This barrel's 5 years old. There's a lot of videos online about how to recondition a barrel into something else other than a wine barrel, something decorative, but this is going to use it again for wine. So the first thing you do is number the staves. So when you put it back together, kind of everything fits right. And then you mark the head of the barrel, and you scribe a couple lines. It'll help you line things up when you're ready to put it back together. And then do the other head, mark the other head separate. And then start to take your rings out. The tool I'm using is it's a Cooper's tool made for barrel rings. I'll show you at the end the tool, and there's a bunch of different ones. A lot of them look like a cold chisel, but the end has a cup in it to help hit the ring but not hit the wood. There's the first head. So you see there's a lot of sediment and tartrates in there. I'm gonna do the other head. This one, it's got a real good groove where the head meets the stave. So a lot of times when you take this last ring out, the barrel will just totally fall apart. This one did not. It just took a little tap to get the staves off. At this point, you're saying, oh, what did I do? I listened to this guy on the internet. I took my barrel apart. It can be very scary the first time you do it. But it's just a step-by-step process. You'll get it back together. There's all the staves. So now you run down to Home Depot. I got 36 grit sandpaper. You get something really, kind of as low a grit as you can. There's a stave that has that, sediment and tartrate mix on it. That's actually a different one that I'm sanding right now. But you just take your belt sander, you go over it. Your one belt is going to last about 4 or 5 staves, and you can really tell. After about 4, you can really tell it's getting clogged up. When you put a new one on, it makes a big difference. So I'm not taking too much off, but definitely taking a few millimeters off. And there you go. That's what's left over. The next piece that was really kind of at the bottom where there's a fairly good deposit on there. And I stop about 2/3 through so you can see the contrast. So again, then you want that in contact with your wine, not that. There you go. You did all your pieces. Now you're gonna put it back together. You get a bunch of clamps. So that's the one I have in my hand is the middle. Of the 3 rings on each side of the barrel. That's the middle ring, and on the floor is the large ring for the other side. Kind of make sure you have it, correctly done, aligned, the way it's going to slide in. The bottom one's going to slide up. So then every 3 or 4 staves, I put a clamp on. The first one, I put a decent clamp on. The other ones are just these kind of cheap clamps, but they do the trick. This is a lot easier if you have someone else with you. And also on the table there, I lined the staves up, by the order in which I numbered them. And I just did it in a way that's just easy to grab. I don't have to look. I know how they're lined up. if you try to do this top ring, just when you're putting it together like this, it's too small, you know, because when that top ring, the staves are already compressed when you put it on, so that's why I use the middle ring. And at the end, take any extra clamps you have, clamp it up. Now, I took the large ring, slip it over the clamps. It's kind of scary at this point. You don't know if it's going to work, but once you start putting the rings on, it really starts to come together. I moved to the garage because it was a more level surface. You can see it's starting to tighten up. And you don't have to be super precise with this one because you're going to take them off again when you reassemble the heads. You're just kind of putting it in and making sure everything is generally where it's supposed to go. Because we're gonna toast the barrel here. So you'll notice we're putting the barrel together with no heads. And that's because we're getting ready to toast the barrel. So to toast the barrel, you get either a little galvanized bucket. In my case, I actually have a colander, like where you would drain your spaghetti. And it works pretty well because it has all the holes in it that allow the air to get in to the fire, but their holes aren't big enough that they let the hot embers get down and you know, hit the bottom of your barrel. So you get a little fire going, put some dry wood in there, and then you put your barrel on top. The barrel is sitting on 2 pieces of wood to let the air in the bottom. If you really want to get it going, take a leaf blower or something and blow at the bottom of the barrel and have the wind come up, and that fire will get really big. Now it's time to so I toasted for about 20 minutes, half an hour, kept a close eye on it. Now it's time to put the heads back on. The first one went on pretty easily. I'm just lining up the pencil marks. There's lots of different ways to put on the heads. You know, I'm just a home winemaker. I'm not a cooper. I just pretend to be one. And so I'm sure if there's a cooper watching this, he's screaming at this how I'm doing things, but I'm sure there's easier ways. And it's a little tool I made out of a piece of copper pipe. I'll show you that at the end. I should have had the big ring on already, just loose, and then I could kind of give it a hit at this point. It all works out. And then just finish up, hammer all the rings in nice and tight. You're good to go. You want to fill up your barrel, swell it up, treat it, make sure everything's sanitized, and then you're good to put the wine in. I'm going to show you the tools, the 2 specialty tools I used. One is the tool for the barrel rings. It comes in a few different forms. And then this is just a copper pipe I squeezed together and turned, and that helped when I was putting the heads in. And this video is brought to you by the good people at Wine Cork Branding Irons. There's my email address up there, and the second link is to the shop. And if you search on YouTube for Wine Cork Branding Irons, you can see the other videos I made. Thanks for watching.